YouTube, it's Brian Phillips here again, doing something a little weird. I'm taking these pieces of wood, and we're using these on the bridge planking at our new land, or what we hope is our new land. And I wanted to pre-drill for the screws, because using an impact to get through this wood repeatedly 5 or 6 times per board gets really monotonous, especially when you're out on a log balancing. So I figured we'd pre-cut the lumber and then go ahead and do this. So if you don't know how to do this stuff, it's pretty simple. Basically, the shaft size of the screw should be about the size of your drill, but in this case I'm going a little bit smaller because I want a really firm bite. So probably don't want to put the screw in the drill press. I usually don't set up the drill press hardly ever, but we're going to see if we can get this to work. And what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and drill a bunch of holes. Probably show you one example, and then we'll move on from there. So I'm not getting enough depth there, so I'll just set this up a little higher. This is just a cheap, crappy drill press that I got a few years back, and I almost never use the thing. But it's worked okay for what I've done with it so far, which is a very limited amount of projects. When I really need a drill press, it'll usually get the job done. Now what I did here was just this random pattern here. I want to have two outside, and then a couple in the middle. I actually was doing a 5-hole pattern, and I realized I should probably make it a little wider here. So we'll just start with that as a basis. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. And the only thing is, just for transportation reasons, I'm probably not going to go ahead and put the screws in, except for maybe the first one. So we're going to go ahead and do that for this whole stack. And then I've got some more boards that are coming down as well. So as you guys can see, we've got 5 holes generally centered, and this is going to give us our mounting locations for all of these pieces of lumber, and they can act as steps for us across the deadfall. We're going to go do this for another, I think another 10 or 12 of these. So this is the last one. So the whole idea is, when I've got these boards, I can take the screw in my hand and I can start it, and that way I'm not hanging out in front of me with the drill trying to hold the bit on the end. And yes, obviously there's magnets on my drill bit, but they don't always hold it the way you think the screws are going to be held, and they're triple coated. So anyway, so that's the rest of them, and we'll be adding those tonight. Hopefully get you some footage of the assembly out there at the land. YouTube, we're back for, I think, what's probably going to be the third part. Might be the second or third. We're going to get in there and put some more planks on the Deadfall. We obviously ran out of time that night. And the only thing I think we did off camera, if I remember right, camera crew, is that we ended up putting a ratchet strap around the tree just to kind of secure things together. So if the deadfall would pivot or rotate and rip out any more roots, then it wouldn't fall over immediately. So you'll have like a loud creaky pop before you fall to your death.
Oh, good.
So, hopefully that doesn't happen, but we're gonna get to it. Okay guys, so our rationale was just a central screw to just kind of get things held down quick, and then 4 screws to help take the torsion load. As you stand here, it's gonna wanna rotate the tree. So that was our rationale. These are 4-inch triple coated screws, and they've been working pretty good. So we'll see if that keeps working. I can't remember if we reviewed that. And then we just got just all junk lumber. This is gonna be a temporary bridge, but just something to get back and forth so we can enjoy the backside of the lot. And then until such a time as we can do an awesome bridge, which you will see. Guys, so we had a really awesome machete before, and it was such high quality that we put it into the truck and it broke at the handle. So then we duct taped it, and then when I was squeezing it to lay it back in, it broke like 4 more times. So we got a new one, and we'll see how this goes. We'll link to it. It's just your run-of-the-mill. Of course, we didn't sharpen this one. We did sharpen the other one, and evidently this is the way the handle's supposed to protect you from like throwing it at your significant other or something.
Thank you.
So what we're gonna do is, I hate taking down stuff that's healthy, but like this is gonna be in the way 100% of the time when we use this. So let's try it. Oh my goodness! Where have you been my whole life? Okay, so that was a little bit different than the last experience. I can't believe how much better that worked. Holy crap, that went 3/4 of the way through. Okay, so you're gonna want to be careful with this thing if you get it, because it's very sharp. The other one was kind of like a butter knife, except duller. So let's just, I don't want to like kill everything, but like this dead stuff, it just gets in the way. Let's try sawing. Oh my goodness. I'm actually really happy with it. The sawing is a lot more work, of course, but part of taking care of land or owning land is just being able to get stuff like this done. Jeez. Okay, well, we're gonna try this little volunteer. Sorry, volunteer. Yeah, a little bit better. As you can see, that's a clean cut. The stuff that I tried to get down last time is over here, and it didn't really work. This tree looks like this part's dead, so we're just gonna take it off real quick. Oh, it's dead. I don't want to damage the good part of the tree though. Yeah, that good part. Ah, right in my face.
Yeah, that one might have to go
that
still.
That one might have to go too.
Yeah, just that little guy.
Okay, so trying to keep it as clean as possible. It'll help to protect the tree from having problems. I don't know if that stops disease. This thing works so much better. Okay, so this guy's probably fine. That guy is probably fine, except it's a thorn bush.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one's thorny.
You want it gone?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, got both of them. These things are both very thorny. Let's show the people at home.
These are my favorite. Here, hold still. Wait. Super fun.
Yeah, these are definitely not the type that I want to have all over my yard, but I will. Okay, so this one needs to go, and then that part there needs to go.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just do the proverbial. I'm gonna actually start trying to work in a step.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, so we're good there. Remember this? Wow. Okay, that's better. Yeah, that works better, hon.
A little bit.
Wow. Yeah. I think was this the Bear Grylls kind?
No, that's the Gerber one.
Well, whatever. Gerber's good too, evidently.
Yeah, just don't buy it from Walmart.
Well, I think I got this one at Menards, didn't I?
Yeah.
We'll make sure we link to it at Amazon. So
yeah, Amazon had them too.
Now, I would like to get this off of here just because it's ugly.
You could jump down there again if you can't.
I could use a serrated edge to pull it over. And then I could, you see what I did? I tangled it into this jungle branch. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna lean back and do this. This one's a little bit harder. There it goes. Okay, one more. Okay, got it. I'm gonna throw it, okay?
Okay.
Are you out of the way?
Yeah.
There's vines and stuff that were attached to there.
Mm-hmm.
So now this we have to keep. That's going to be part of our handhold system. And that one we're replacing because it was giving us problems. So how much of this do we want to keep?
Most of it, except for that dead part.
The dead part goes. This one I'm going to saw. This is nice because I don't have to have as much striking power at all. I'll have to lubricate this to keep it from getting rusty. Let me throw this behind
Throw it
you.
up there, yeah.
Okay, hon. This is a lot sharper. So I'm going to hand this back. Well, how about we hand it back to you for now? We'll go ahead and set up the tripod for time lapse after we get the first one done. Real quick though, guys, just a quick first look. The return from the, oh, this one's in the way, hon. Go ahead and send it back.
Hold on.
Yeah, don't stick the tip on you. You'll rip up your shirt. So this little bit that's hanging over, it's got to go.
Okay.
It's just in the way. That's not strong enough to hold you, so it's got to go. This one, it's like night and day. I mean, it's nothing like the one we were using, which was a total piece of junk. And obviously, at some point, some of these trees are going to get, you know, cut down. We'll thin the herd some to help make a few more healthy big trees. And then a lot of the volunteers will just get left anyway. So no big deal there. But that's a little easier to tell that you're getting a hold of it.
You could almost just take the little branches off so they're not on your face and then just leave like the railing.
Well, okay.
I don't know. Do you think?
The only thing I'm concerned about is you'll kill the branch. The branch will eventually die.
I know.
So this will all dry out over time, but maybe that'll get us enough time. Because, I mean, this is a healthy tree.
Yeah,
Pruning
it's
off
big. That one goes
branch
way.
is not going to hurt this tree.
Yeah.
So,
What'll be our timeline for getting a real bridge done?
yeah, we'll have a real bridge at some point. But this should get us over just fine. And then we also brought some treading material to actually apply here. So you're saying all of it?
Maybe. Just because it is kind of in your face and you have to lean a bunch.
Well, I just hate to lose so much of the foliage right now.
I know.
But I don't want to, like, fall off either.
Yeah.
There it goes. That one's not so much in the way, but I agree. Jeez. I've never used a machete before, except for maybe once, right?
Yeah.
You can tell I'm really good at it. Okay. This one's the one we want to move, right?
Yep. The very last one.
All right, so as you guys can see right beyond me on the ground, or on my log, I should call it, there's our strap. That strap is just holding this tree stationary to help strengthen this. I can't believe this stayed together. This brace is like actually surprisingly strong still.
And we had a couple good storms this week.
We actually had some big storms. I'm just taking off the nasty knobs, hon.
Okay.
Because nobody wants nasty knobs.
Not so much.
So our son really likes to do tree work like this, so I kind of feel bad taking it all. But
I think he'll have plenty.
you think so?
I think.
Okay, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe you'll have some. Okay, so that's good for now. Now this I want to hang on to for now.
Okay.
And that I want to hang on to for now. That's all new growth this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming back for drill and wood. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right, guys, so we're going to put down our first one with this new system that we're working on. And I think it's going to be a whole lot better. Well, that was a lot easier for me. Way easier. What do you think, hon?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Do you want to replace that wobbly one?
This one's wiggly. This one's got a little wiggle to it. You know why? I think there's just some rotten wood here. A little
Okay.
bit, which is unfortunate. I don't think we're going to get around that totally. So
Okay.
maybe our solution needs to be to, yeah, like, do you see how little resistance I had once it went into the wood?
Yeah.
So we'll just have to kind of spread it out. We will go ahead and replace this board though, I think, just to be on the safe side. That was good bite. See? Way better.
Okay.
Okay,
Good.
so this one's coming out, and we're just going to put another one here then?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll put this somewhere else maybe. Yeah. See that, guys? Spinning right away. Are we time-lapsing yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Jeez, that one broke off. So that tells you how weak it was. So I guess honestly in this whole system we just have to stay true to our firm commitment to safety. And
Said standing on a dead tree across a creek.
yeah, right, exactly.
Okay, do you want me to get this one out to you?
I do, but I mean honestly, I think we might need to do like the rope here now. Go ahead. Can you reach out and hand it to me? Okay. That shelf, we're gonna have to do something to reinforce that. And you know how that just caught me on my belly? We're gonna have to probably do something about that too.
Do you want that?
So, all right, hon.
Yep.
Here's the moment of truth on this crappy spot.
Okay.
I'm gonna reposition it a little bit. We're kind of bridging a void there too. That's pretty soft stuff. Oh yeah, that's... I think we're still better off now already than we were.
Okay.
I may have to reinforce this one. We may have to do side bracing is what we'll do on these ones.
Okay.
Okay, so now... Oh yeah.
That's better than it was before though.
A little better. I'm going to
Yeah.
go ahead and throw a couple more screws on the right side,
Okay.
on the left side.
Ready to work?
Yeah, this will be a lot better.
It's so much better than machine worked.
Did you see the first one cut?
So, Andrew, you want to have him run and grab the texture tape so we can talk about that. You can maybe introduce that to the people at home.
Just black tape is a big thing.
It's in the front of the tool bag. There's a pocket. You'll see it.
You'll see. Oh, and the black and red one.
This is way better, hon.
Yeah, it looks,
Yeah, that
it
fixed
looks
it.
a lot better.
Okay. All right. So, why don't you shoot me another board?
Okay.
And why don't we switch over to time lapse and we'll just keep doing this and working our way out.
Okay.
So we've got basically the one branch. We've got these steps, and the steps work pretty good. They're getting closer together, which is what we're going for, is to just ultimately at the end of the day, that part starts, it starts sloping down quite a bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at using a rope. I want the long rope, the twine rope.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trade me. I'm gonna throw it. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. So we got this twine rope. Hopefully it doesn't fall into 47 pieces, because I guess I didn't really check to see if it was all one piece. Here, catch.
Yep.
So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to kind of just rig something up that will give us a little bit more security as we walk. I really gotta cut that off pretty soon, hon.
Okay.
So what I wanna do is go in here. I can't believe this thing is still here. I figured it would rip off for sure. Okay, so this is where comes in handy to like know how to tie a knot.
This is all one piece.
That is all one
Yeah.
piece?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I'm gonna go around the tree.
Okay.
So my whole hope is that we can use that as just a guide and we can get all the way down there. And worst case scenario, you can at least kind of put your hand on it to make you feel better, even though you're not gonna have tons of security from it. We can even use it to guide other stuff. Okay, how much do you think you got there, hon?
This is
Andrew,
it
you
now.
want to kind of work the camera a little bit?
He's got it.
Okay.
You're
I'm
good.
pulling screws most of them.
Yeah.
See, this is really sturdy.
This is it.
Okay. Because
Okay.
this here, I can definitely hang on to. I mean, it doesn't make me feel super secure because I have to get all the way over here. Get off there, Daddy Long Legs. Okay. So this tree's wanting to go away from me when I do this, but we can pull this back a little bit too. So this rope is going to go up high, and then you can grab it as you walk by. Okay, so, hon,
Yeah.
we'll tie this one here to kind of brace this tree temporarily.
Okay.
Then we'll do our ratchet later. And then we'll actually look up how to tie a proper knot, which sounds ridiculous, I know. To all you outdoors folks, which we will become more since we're doing this.
Maybe.
Maybe. Or maybe not. Okay, so I've got a nasty knot there. It's not slipping.
Okay.
So that gives me something to help me brace my fall. I mean, it's not like super, super sturdy, but if you try to tension this too much during a storm, it's gonna wanna keep the trees stationary and they'll break. At least is what I think is gonna happen. Okay, so now I'm gonna run this around here. And this is basically just gonna help to make everything one contiguous piece of support. Hey, give me that machete, Andrew.
Oh, drop.
Oh, no, it's over here. I got it.
Thank you, hon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like on the end here, we've got this one knob that keeps catching me as I go by. So I have to try to cut it off.
It clicks.
We actually have a saw in there too that I'd forgotten about last time. Just a regular
Handsaw.
hand saw.
Yeah.
It might work really nice for this sort of thing. I just don't want to be running into it. Yeah, that's slightly better. Okay, careful.
Got it?
Got it?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, so now you can see what's going on is we'll pull this tight. Like a toy gun. How we doing on camera angle, Andrew?
Good.
Okay, so now I'm going to go around this tree, leaving just only a little teeny bit. Oh yeah, screws, thank you.
Yeah, I have those all the time.
Yeah. Hand them to me, point up. There you go. So I'm just sticking them in the pocket. And then I think on this one, we'll just go around this crux. I don't feel like that's going to break at all. I don't think it's likely to break. So I'm not going to make a big plan that it's going to break. So what we're trying to do here, guys, is not completely remove any risk of injury. We're trying to minimize it. Because if we were trying to remove any risk, we wouldn't be doing this. So, because we're realists. I mean, things like this, people do get hurt, and we want to be as careful as we can, but We also need to get across this creek, and just crossing normally would be somewhat dangerous anyway. Okay, so now at this point, I can slide this, and I'm just gonna wrap around a little bit and tie some more knots and stuff that are wrong.
You could almost go back with that piece you have left over and like tie it right to the end of that branch and like double up that spot, maybe?
Well, I had thought about maybe going that way with it, but you're right, that would be kind of nice. This one here needs to be more robust, for sure. Yeah, it's not quite long enough, huh? But you're right, you could tie the slack here, except then if you grab the slack, it'll slip out of your hand. But I'm telling you, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's certainly, it feels way more sturdy. The only problem is this slip knot I tied is allowing it to slack, which I'm not crazy about. Okay? So we'll have to figure out how to tie this so that it's not slacking, so it doesn't have the ability to do that. Hold on, let me think about this. All I really have to do is tie a knot in this, and then that would stop it from doing that. So we'll figure that out here, like probably we'll do that off camera, and then we'll just come back with something more, because like I said, we're not really experts on knot tying or bridge building or virtually anything except for radio controlled airplanes. So we're gonna go ahead and keep going on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to shoot me the tools again, and I'll keep working my way out.
Okay.
All right, guys, so we're gonna go out and do a ratchet strap. We kind of redid the knot off camera because it's embarrassing to watch us do that since we suck at it. So I don't want to say it's a walk in the park, except that it is kind of a walk in the park. Literally the park, not easy. So now we've got this here, and we're going to actually pull that tree in a little bit tighter. So I'm going to try to sit down and do this last step here.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the awkward part. Is just trying to figure out how to get this thing around the tree and back to myself, and then feed it through the ratchet so I can tighten it. I'm gonna let it go out like this.
Do I need to come out and help?
I don't know if you're going to be able to, hon.
Okay.
There is that other chunk of lumber under here. I can get back now. I couldn't before.
Right.
I'm going to try to hook this onto one of those little branches. See if I can just flip around. That was a lot better right there.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we're good now.
Okay.
Okay, so we're around the tree now. So now I just need to ratchet strap this. I'm hooking it to itself, of course. I don't want to damage the tree doing this, obviously. But I could actually come up here and ratchet it up here, which would be nice. Having problems up there, hon?
Well, you're kind of behind the branch, so I'm just trying to move this since I don't need to help you right this second. So you can see what you're talking about.
I got a twist in this, so I want to take that twist out right now. Okay, so now my twist is out. Because the wider the surface contact area, the easier it'll be on the tree. And the stronger it'll be too. So I'm just kind of guiding the strap into the ratchet area. Okay, so that should be pulling the tree up, right? See?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It can still move a little bit in a big storm, but we're getting so much closer now to the other side. I might need to go ahead and try to take care of this with the machete. What do you think, hon? It's right on the bank of the creek.
Yeah.
I sort of hate to lose this one, but because the sun actually shines down in here pretty good. Why don't you just bring me some more lumber?
Okay.
And we'll at least get a couple more pieces down while I'm sitting down, because it is quite a bit easier
Okay.
to do it here.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we're out to here, but we're gonna need to add probably 2 pieces here, and then we've probably got like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, 7 pieces at max that'd be needed to make our walkway complete. There's a little bit of moss back here, and so we got some texture pad for like on stairs, and we were gonna wipe these down with alcohol or something and then stick on there. And they're supposed to be resistant to weather as long as they're not underwater. We don't suspect it's gonna be underwater here ever, but who knows? If it's underwater here, our house still has about 30 feet before it gets underwater, or 100 feet or whatever it is. You wanna trade me?
Yeah, get one more.
Here, grab that. Okay, we're just gonna clear some of this overgrowth here. I don't think we call this overgrowth, this is just growth. Just being careful the way I do it so I don't fall. You can see the water straight down, that's pretty cool. Okay, so then this one we had talked about possibly getting rid of a little bit. That one, what do you think?
Maybe just that end. Yeah.
Nice. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just get rid of some of that, and then we're so close to the end, it's killing me not to be able to make it, but we have that one more piece coming, right?
Did you get it, Andrew? Yeah.
Okay, we got one more piece coming, so we'll go ahead and get one more piece, and then we'll see how far we can get out. Boy, using a sharp machete is like about 100 times safer. Just like any other sharp tool, the sharper the better. But it's just kind of hard when you're not left-handed to use your left hand to do anything like that. All right, so we're gonna pause it and we'll time lapse this.
Because we're white-handed.
Okay guys, so we've got out to here. I feel pretty I feel stable enough. This is something I wouldn't have been able to do with just empty hands. This thing has surprisingly worked really good. Isn't that like the weirdest thing? I figured that would break off for sure. And we've had some storms, but there must be pretty good protection here. Our son wants to try it. And so we might do that tonight. And but beyond that, it's good to have you. We're glad you're coming with us along this journey. This is totally a temporary bridge, but we're gonna build a better one later, and we might pause it. I might take you on a walk out there real quick. All right guys, so here we go. We've got, the hill starts here. Let's just reach out and grab it. Step into this little step, You have to duck under this branch that goes all the way up. That's the tree. And then we'll step out on the wood. And then you just kind of keep holding on to this thing. Hi, guys. And then this is our ridiculous knot. And this is how you do it. And you can hold on to it tight. And I mean, I'm balancing pretty decent here. But as you can see, it's not like a huge drop. It's not a huge drop, but it's far enough that you wouldn't want to fall. So just hanging on now to the rope. And basically the whole rationale here is to just try to make sure there's enough screws that you don't split the lumber, but you still have enough so that you could step on the side accidentally. I'm trying to step in the middle, of course. Then this, we did 4 screws. 2 are straddling the wood in case it tries to split. And then there's like 3 that are down here in that weird area. And as you can see, it opens up down here really wide. And it's hard to get the scale for how big this is. But then we have this rope here that we tied off. And it goes right here between this tree and that tree. And then between that tree and the next. And so I can hang on to it. And basically if I lose my balance, I just brace myself on it. It's super easy now. And I can duck down. So pretty from in here. Okay, so then I hang on to this and just kind of use footing, just like a ladder. You see we got our strap holding the 2 trees together, but allowing a little bit of movement. And the only bad thing is, like, we're stepping in mud to get out here, so there's a little bit of mud that's transferring onto the steps. And as you can see, there's the dead half of the tree, and we're like 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 5, 10, 10 or 11 feet there to the edge. And as you can see, it's not a really long ways, but it's scarier in real life. And this tree moves quite a bit. It's not a huge tree. That one's a lot bigger tree. So here we go. Just working our way back. And you just kind of have to hang on to the things you've got before you make commitments to the next position. And it's not hard. It's just awkward holding the camera. It's certainly better than going up and down a hill that's covered in weeds. That's going to be crazy, treacherously muddy. As you can see, then this just runs into the ground and it's further supported there. Here you go, hon. You want to go ahead and stop that? Okay. All right, guys, so thanks for bearing with us. This project's taken a long time, like all our projects. But this one's a little different because it's very unique and strange and probably temporal, because all this stuff could get washed away in a bad storm. But it's still fun. It's just the cool stuff that I want to be able to do with this property. And when we get the property bought and paid for, then this sort of thing will just be the beginning. Really, seriously. So we hope that there's interest in this, and we'll do more. And as you know, we'll do radio-controlled airplanes, and Megan will do the homeschool stuff, and it'll be awesome. Check the description below. We'll link to the machete. The machete was awesome. We'll link to the drill. We'll link to the screws if we can find them. And we'll link to the mosquito that I just ate. Other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Come back for more. This is not the end of the series. You're not going to get left high and dry on this channel. We never leave you high and dry. If it takes 100 parts, you get 100 parts, and I'm not exaggerating. Just watch the 80-part video on my ASH 26. So come back for more. Thanks for watching. Hey YouTube, we're here again. Brian Phillips with you. Got this treated lumber. We're going to use this for more rungs on our bridge, our Deadfall bridge, and some of these steps that we're doing are not exactly rocket science, but I want to show you how I'm going to do it. Take my tape measure and I just measure how long this board is, and it happens to be 12 feet and a half inches, so also known as 144 inches. Okay, so basically we just look over there and you can see, and then I very simply I take my calculator and I divide that up to get to the nearest whatever measurement I want to do. In this case, where's my calculator? Anyway, so you get your handy dandy calculator out and you figure out how many you got. 144.5 divided by, we were going about 17 to 18 inches, so let's say 18 inches. That gives us just over 8. So that means we're going to have 7 cuts. So you would have about 1/8 of an inch per cut. Excuse me, is that 1/8 of an inch per cut on this one? I think it's about 1/8 of an inch per cut. So you end up a little bit short. It's not a big deal. I would rather not mess with it. So I'm just going to measure out 18 inches each. But let's try this. 144.5 divided by 17. That would give us 8.5. And but we're only going to use a total of 1 inch. So we'll just go ahead and mark out the 18 inches. So 144.5 divided by 18 inches. Okay, so that's going to give us 8 pieces. So we'll measure out 8 pieces. So for 18 inches, we'll go 18 inches. That's our first piece, and then from that piece we'll take 1/8 of an inch. Okay, then we'll go 18 becomes 36. Measure out our 1/8 for the cut, and so on and so forth. So you basically just keep counting out your pieces. So 18 times 2 plus 18, so 54, and just take it back. Plus 54 plus 18 becomes 72, and I'm just marking back, and I'm just putting my little X. That tells me where I'm going to cut. 90 inches. I like using a calculator for this stuff, even though I could hypothetically do it in my head. I make mistakes when I do it in my head. Okay, so you guys get the idea. It's not really hard stuff. Okay, and look at that, 144, and we've got all of these extras because we just chose to cut it out of each piece. Okay, so one piece will be a little bit longer. Now, one thing we do want to watch for is we want to make sure that we're going to have these nasty spots will be pretty weak, potentially causing a split hazard. I think we're going to be okay because we'll actually be over the top of the log here. So this is where we're going to cut. Now, normally I would use a speed square, but my speed square is actually in my, it's in my bag of tricks, and my bag of tricks is in our vehicle. So I'm just going to use this speed square, if you want to call it that. And this is just going to give us a nice reference mark. So I'm just going to mark the cut point. And yeah, I'm using a pen. Too bad, so sad for the pencil manufacturers. And all we're going to do is we're just going to cut these up. These are just a rough cut. So, I mean, it's not really that big a deal. And it's not really normally noteworthy to measure and cut and make a video about it. But I figured, you know what? Some of this stuff is pretty simple. It's just more a matter of actually doing it. And so some people get a kick out of watching other people work. So we got hearing protection and we have eye protection. We're going to be using this compound miter saw here. And I just got these things to move yet. And it's always tricky when you have these longer boards because you have to figure out a way to support it. And as you can see, I don't have a ton of room to work with here. So what I'll end up doing is I'll end up just cutting on any of my points, which is why we measured. So now I can just set it down like this instead of having to take a saw out to the garage or something like that. Okay. So then this first cut, this is going to want to fall down, so I will support it once it gets close to the end of the cut. Okay, simple as that. And this will, of course, make a gigantic mess of everything. That's just part of life, I guess. And then we'll get probably one cut, and then we'll rearrange things a little bit. In fact, we don't even need a second cut. We'll just go ahead and rearrange it now. This is one of the reasons why we have been wanting to move, is just because my shop space is set up as kind of like the airplane hangar right now and the film studio, and I need to have a place to work wood and steel fabrication separately. Okay, so normally you don't want to let your blade stop like that. That was sort of dumb, but I just don't like it when the boards fall because they hit my sump pump. So that was kind of a stupid moment on my part. Okay, so then I just have this here. This is just to help support the other end of the lumber. Anybody who's used a saw like this, a chop saw or a compound miter saw, would know exactly how to do this, and it's not hard. All I do is I just line up where that blade mark is. Nasty spot. That's kind of a really nasty spot. We've got that, all that sap and everything acts like glue. So of course it cuts really slow and it's hard on the blade. I have a nice finish blade in there. People are probably wondering why I'm using that. Because I just always use a finish blade. Finish-ish. You could get another 20 teeth on it. Okay. And this is pretty rocket sciencey, but I just didn't know if some of you guys might get a kick out of this, and if you're trying to copy me building this bridge, eat your heart out. Just holding it down. Let this motor that hangs over kind of hold down on the wood. You can also have somebody help, or you can just let it fall if you don't have a sump pump under it. Just definitely want to get it tied up against the fence, or you know, the thing can kick back at you and you can get hurt pretty easy using a saw like this. It's all a factor of how dumb you are or how many mistakes you make. Okay, some decent cuts, about the same length. Again, like we said, there's going to be one long one, which we knew. And then of course we get to clean all this crap up. And the next step for us is going to be to drill some holes. And what we were doing is kind of like something like this. And that really, really helped. And I found that I was actually doing a couple out here too. But those ones I want to bite into the material a little bit more. So this worked out really nice. You've already seen me use the drill press. So I'm going to set up the drill press over here. And we're going to pop these holes in here. And it's going to work nice, and this will give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We might need a couple more, but I'm using up my junk lumber, which is kind of a big step for anybody who's got a shop, to get rid of junk lumber. Makes you feel good. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the build series. Come back for more. You know where to find it. Brian Phillips on YouTube.